All right, back again, guys, with another video on how to use your art supplies in your kit. Okay, last time we talked about the watercolors. Now I'm going to show you how to get the most out of your color pencils here. So a couple tricks I'm going to show you for using these is just, for one, making a color fade from light to dark. Two, just doing a nice smooth layer, and then three, layering up lots of different layers of color. All right, so the first one, anytime you're using color pencils, you never want to really scribble unless you're trying to make a texture like grass or something like that. You don't want to scribble, all right? You want to just keep it going nice and smooth, alrighty? Like I said, unless you're trying to make like grass or tree bark or something, you want to keep it nice and smooth. You don't want to press hard, never need to press real hard. That just builds up layers of wax. It doesn't look good. All right, and then you can just go in and lightly touch up any little areas you missed. So right here, you can see I have these little white spaces. I'm just going in and filling those in right on the edges. Filling it in, filling it in, filling it in, all right? Yes. Now, let's say I do want this to be a little darker. I'm just gonna come over the top, add another layer of color, okay? Nice, even side to side, not pressing hard. See how much darker it's getting already? That's the trick to color pencils, is you don't wanna press hard and you wanna build up layers of color. Another helpful thing is keep your pencil sharp if you can. Alrighty. And then always go back in, check your edges, and touch up your edges, all right? There's that one. The next one is fading from light to dark. And I'll pick, let's see, we'll use a red one for this. So this one, I'm gonna start out barely pressing at all. I'm barely touching my paper. I'm just going from side to side, up and down. Barely touching my paper. Now, I'm gonna fill in this whole box like this, just the barely touching, light, light, light. All right, so I have my whole box filled in very lightly. Now I'm gonna come in from the dark edge and I'm still not pressing hard, I'm just like barely press. I went from barely touching to pressing a little bit on the paper, and you can see how that's getting darker. You can go over that a second or third time if you need to darken it up. And this, yeah, that's great. And yeah, this is the same brand you guys have. You get the Crayolas, which are really nice color pencils. I know a lot of professional artists who prefer Crayolas. All right, and then you can see I'm building up that dark, and then when I get towards the middle, I'm gonna kind of go with a medium amount. I'm just lightening up a little bit so it has that kind of fade from light to dark, that kind of ombre going, all right? There we go. Now, the next one is layering, and I'm gonna show you how to layer some colors. I'm actually gonna show you how to make a pretty nice skin tone here with the colors you have. All right, so what I'm gonna do first is I'm gonna make kind of a medium skin tone, and I'm gonna start with a light layer of yellow. Because anytime you add yellow to something, it's gonna give it a bit of a glow. Because it's a glowy color. When people paint light on buildings, it's just the color yellow. That's it. So there's my layer of yellow. I'm also gonna come in and just super duper light, I'm gonna add a little bit of red, just a little bit. Because you have all the blood vessels and stuff under your skin, and they give you kind of red or purpley undertones. All right, and this is gonna be, like I said, a medium tone. Now, last one, I'm gonna use my brown, and any skin tone you're making, you definitely wanna use the brown color pencil for. And I'm gonna come in and I'm gonna start out light. You can always add more later on, but you wanna start out kind of light, and then you can kind of go from there. So you can layer these colors up. I can make it, alrighty, filling that space in. All right, and I'm looking at this and I want to kind of smooth it out a little, so I'm going to add another layer of brown coming the opposite direction. So I'm coming in here, another layer the opposite direction. And see how that's actually kind of smoothing it up a bit. Now let's say you didn't want to go much darker with the skin tone, but you did want it smoothed out, or you just want it even smoother than that. You can use a white color pencil. This will not show up as a color. It will just kind of blend it and push it around together. So I can come over here. And this is just basically a blender. It just blends the colors together. White color pencils, unless you're drawing on black or brown paper or something, they're not gonna show up, but they make excellent, excellent blending tools. And you can see the difference, how much smoother it is right here as opposed to up here before I've used it. And you can press a smidge harder if you're blending it out with white, just a little bit. All right, but there's that. And you can see it makes a nice kind of skin tone color. All right, but yep, that's some tips there on using your colored pencils. Take care.